What's up, world? It's your boy AL. We're back here. Went to the Redshark event. It was excellent. Right here at this clip, I was talking to Jeromy Young, CEO of Atomos. Very knowledgeable individual. I'm going to share this clip with you, and hopefully you can get some more details about it within the clip.
Hi, Jeromy Young here, CEO of Atomos. If you don't know who Atomos is, we make field monitor recorders up to 19 inches down to 5 inches, and they sit on top of all the great cameras from Japan and America and Europe, and we improve recording and monitoring and exposure checking to a really high level to give you the high-end cinema result at a budget price. And we love our products. They're like between $500 and $2,000, and you can find something for your range, whether you're a DSLR customer or you're using bigger video cameras. Right up in the film cinema end, we have a product for you. We record to Apple's Hollywood format, Apple ProRes, so it increases the quality of your camera's recording. And we're the first in the world to bring true HDR monitoring to the market. And that allows you to truly monitor from your camera an HDR production to then playback on HDR TV, whether it be YouTube HDR, Apple TV is now HDR, Netflix is HDR. You need to be producing HDR content, and we allow you to do that from your current cameras. You'll never fix that, because you can't map something that's already clipped, because it's clipping different parts of the color space, so you just can't map it. But once you start to get in here, these little bits should resolve out, which they do now, whereas they remained like that previously. If you take a log curve, normal log curve, this is that. Right, so when we're moving that slider, we're just moving that across the log curve. There will be some detail in the end of the curve. There will be a tiny bit of detail in the end. But I would put that there, because I can still see detail in here. And I think one of the best things that we offer is the ability to tag in post-production. So let's say I'm looking for that lightning strike. Oh, so I can go back frame by frame until I get to the lightning. Well, 2 lightnings. And I can see the top of the curve there. And I'd probably knock that back a little bit to get a bit more brightness in the image. And then I can put an in-point favorite and cruise to another section, an out point, and I've just done a metadata cut edit on reject, overexposed. So you're doing half of your editing prior to getting back to the studio. So our recommendation is shoot HDR, get it right, edit it, so that when you get back to the studio, you can finish the movie really, really fast. And that means you can make more money or be more creative, which most creative people end up being more creative. I don't know any filmmaker that hands their assignment in 2 days before it's due. It's always right to the last minute trying to improve it. So that's the Sumo, that's the user interface, same user interface on all of our products. Whether you have an Inferno or a $500 HDMI product for these awesome DSLRs that are out there. So you can edit. It's got all the engineering waveform features for you to really map what's happening in the product on the image, and you can expose correctly, focus correctly to make sure you always get that shot.
Just to recap what you just saw, Atomos is a device. It's a field monitor where you go record, and internally you can actually store the data. So you have this little monitor or a bigger monitor, you have a few different sizes. You have this monitor where you can record externally 4K or whatever the camera can output. And with Atomos, you can pretty much make some settings adjustments on the monitor as you're recording. It's pretty fascinating. It's been out for a little while now. If you guys are interested, you can just go to their website, atomos.com, and pick one of these guys up, because it's good technology. You'll see yourself in this situation if you're using a camera that doesn't necessarily export a setting that you may want to use. Either it's 422 or something else. It all depends on the camera, what it can output. Some cameras can output RAW, but they can't record RAW internally. However, if you did want to record RAW and the camera could export the output, I mean, it could output the 4K RAW or 1080p RAW, whatever it is, the Atomos got you covered. Also want to say thank you to Richard at Carl Zeiss for letting me use the Melvis Carl Zeiss lens 35mm aperture at 1.4. The lens, as you can see during that whole interview, it holds a lot of detail. The shadow depth of field is pretty amazing, and actually turning the lens was much smoother than I would normally experience elsewhere. Carl Zeiss glass is very smooth, makes it very, very smooth to put my focus, which I am a manual focus shooter, so I kind of prefer that, but it made the process much smoother. Shout out to Carl Zeiss for letting me use their lens. Shout out to Richard for being the person to be that individual to let me use the lens. Definitely check out their stuff also, Carl Zeiss. There will be another interview very shortly, either a couple hours from now, with Carl Zeiss, Representative Richard. Awesome guy. Hope to share that with you guys soon.